Welcome, welcome. We are live once again. Sound check. 1, 2. How's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. So glad you could be here. Welcome to another live stream, Apple Home Talk Live, previously known as HomeKit Talk Live. I think Apple Home Talk Live sounds a little bit better. What's going on? How's everybody doing today? I see some talk in the chat already. Some nice weather looks like we got. We're going to hang out for the next hour or so and chat about smart home tech. If maybe this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This channel is all about smart home tech, specifically in the Apple Home ecosystem. So that's primarily what we'll focus on. We got some new stuff to talk about in the news. I'll take some questions and answer as many of those as I can as well. In the meantime, let's say hi to some folks as people are kind of tuning in and jumping into the stream here. Robert, what's up, Robert from Australia? Awesome. Let's get my little chat box here working. All right, I think we're good there. Lawrence, what's going on, Lawrence? Happy Wednesday. Frederick, what's going on, Frederick? Good to see you here, man. Thank you for helping out today in the chat. Let's see. Chat box looks a little different today. I don't know if it's just me. Beautiful day, Torrin says. 78 and clear in the Houston area. Man, it looks like some nice weather across the country. That's good to see. Yeah, it was, man, it's a beautiful day today. I was thinking earlier, I ate my lunch outside today, and I was thinking, man, it would be nice to just do the whole live stream outside. I don't know, that would be a little bit difficult, but it is so nice here. Beautiful, beautiful day. I think it was 83 degrees on the back porch last time I checked. My little sensor out there, so can't argue with that. Got that springtime fever going on. Yes, we are hoping for no technical difficulties today. We shall see. You never know what you're going to get with a live stream. Jeremiah, waking up to an alarm to watch your live. Oh man, thank you so much for setting an alarm and waking up to join us here live. I hope you're off to a good day. The Tyler Pat, what's going on? Yo, what's up? Don, what's going on? Don, good to see you here on the iPad today as the wife is doing her Pilates thing in the basement. Very cool. Watching from the iPad today. Raul, yeah, no purple borders. Yeah, that was, so you see, some of you guys may see the purple borders talk here. From some of the members. That was a test live. I was doing a test live stream yesterday, trying out some different software and things like that. Always trying to improve and see what's out there. So that was a different software. I'm using the same stuff I usually use today. So no changes for the official live streams yet. But who knows in the future what may come. Kenny, what's up, Kenny from Northern Ireland? Saddam says, I am a big fan. Very big hi from the Kingdom of Bahrain. Very nice. Thank you for joining us here today. Sue, what's up, Sue? Beautiful day in Utah. Ready for spring. Yeah, I feel you. That's what I'm saying. I got some spring fever here. I'm ready. Bring on the summertime. I don't mind it. Sam, what's up, Sam? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, Sam. That's right. Like and subscribe. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Portland, Oregon is in the house. Michael Lewis, cheers. We drinking already? Let's go for it. I'm down. Looks and sounds good. Thank you, Frederick. All right, just catching up in the chat here a little bit. So Adrian dropped a question already. Says, if I'm paying for the Apple family plan, it counts for Apple Secure Video. So yes, it just depends. There's a price tier. I actually mentioned that. I mentioned it and showed that in the my last video on the Akara G5, but I'll show you guys real quick to answer that question. So you need an Apple iCloud Plus plan for HomeKit Secure Video. So the recent Akara G5 camera that just came out may have some people looking into this. So you got the 50 gigabyte plan here, supports one HomeKit Secure Video camera, 200 gig plan supports up to 5 cameras. And then the 2 terabyte or higher plan supports unlimited cameras. And we got questions rolling in already. Okay, let me save these. Y'all are ahead of me today. All right, I'm going to save some of these questions. We'll come back to questions here in a minute. Quick Wing Curtis, hopping on for a bit this afternoon. Smart homes rock. Yes, they do, most of the time. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. John Wolf, what's going on? Yes, that's a good point regarding the iCloud plans. Thankfully, the video, so your stored video recordings don't go towards your storage limit, your allotted storage limit for iCloud. So that's good, that you use for photos and things like that. So very good point. Thank you for pointing that out. So let's just jump into a few things. A few things I want to talk about. We got some new products, a couple of announcements and things to share, and then we'll do some questions, later on in the stream. I'll try to answer as many as I can. So first up, if you did not notice this, let me share my screen here. iOS 18.4 beta came out recently, and we finally have support for robot vacuums in the Apple Home app. Who would have thought, right? 2025, and it's finally here. So again, this is the beta, a beta version of iOS, so it's not out to everybody. I think it comes out to everybody sometime in the fall, I believe. But yes, it's here. And I know SwitchBot has a couple of robot vacuums that are the first I know to officially support this, like right now. I believe, yeah, that's what's being used right here in this little screenshot. You can see, if you see right here, you can switch the modes, vacuum, and this one has vacuum and mop. I think that's going to depend on your specific robot vacuum. So does anybody have a robot vacuum in the Apple Home app yet that they're using with iOS 18.4? Curious to hear your thoughts on that. And yeah, I actually have the SwitchBot K10 Plus combo, which I did a video on that just a couple of weeks ago. It does support Matter and everything. And I was trying to get this into the Home app as a robot vacuum. I went and downloaded the beta, even though I hate doing that. I try to avoid the betas, but this was one of those things I was like, you know what? I need to try this out. We need to, we finally got robot vacuums. I need to test this out. So I installed the beta on 1 or 2 devices, and I don't know if it's related, but pretty much immediately, all of my Thread accessories in my smart home went offline, and I started to freak out a little bit because that's a huge pain in the butt if you've ever been down that road. So beware with the betas. But I did restart my main HomeKit hub after that, and then everything came back. So crisis was diverted there, and everything is okay now. But unfortunately, my SwitchBot vacuum is not giving me the Matter update. So I'm assuming there is, I know for that robot vacuum, that's the K10 Plus Mini. That one, there's supposed to be a firmware update, I believe, that's going to give you direct Matter over Wi-Fi capability. Right now, or if you don't have that update, it's Matter through the bridge, which doesn't expose it as an actual robot vacuum. So I wasn't able to test this out yet personally in my house because I don't have a robot vacuum. I'm hoping to set one up maybe in the next few days or the next week or so and test this out a little bit more with another robot vacuum that should be able to support it. But stay tuned for that. Maybe follow me over on Instagram. I'm sure I'll share some of the behind the scenes and stuff over there if I can get that set up and running. So let's see. Let's check out the comments. Lone Star Trent. What's up, Trent? Says, I've not had any issues with 18.4. Good to hear. Just ran a firmware update on my Hub 2 last night. Okay. See, I'm assuming there's a firmware update for the robot vacuum itself, because the same kind of thing happened with the air purifier table. When I first got it, it only supported, I think it supported I don't even know. I guess you could connect it to the hub and support Matter that way. Well, anyways, shortly after, they released a firmware update to support that direct Matter over Wi-Fi connection for the air purifier table. I assume that's the same thing that's going to happen with this robot vacuum. But yeah, I'll be looking out for that for sure. Jeff, what's up, Jeff? Better late than never. Glad you could make it. Let's see, a lot of questions coming in. I'll try to save these questions. Oh, Trent finally got the update a few weeks ago. Yeah, for the table. Yeah, I remember you were looking for that. So yeah, that's been working great. Do you see the Alexa event today? I did, yes. Well, I didn't watch the whole event, Kenny. That's actually on my list of things I want to talk about. So we're going to come to that in a minute. So, Lady A is a cuss word. Yeah. So moving on, we'll get to the Amazon announcements and stuff because I do want to share that, even though we're all about Apple Home here on this channel. I know we got a lot of Amazon users. I'm going to try not to say the wake word in case you have some, even though I don't have any around here to trigger. I know some of you guys might. But moving on, a couple of new product devices or products that were just released or announced. Wanted to share with you in case you haven't seen it. So Eve finally has a dimmer switch available. So it'll start shipping in March. So I don't know if you can order this yet. Yeah, I guess you can pre-order it now. But that's going to start shipping soon. Now, these support Matter over Thread. If you're not familiar, they've had the Matter over Thread light switches, which is just an on-off toggle switch for quite a while. Those are really nice light switches, I think, if you're looking for a Matter over Thread switch. And now they have a dimmer, so really excited to see that. I think they really needed this in their product catalog. And just to kind of round that out, and it looks really nice, super clean, very much like the original light switch that they have. No subscription, no Eve Cloud, 100% private, typical Eve stuff. So I do like Eve products quite a bit, and it's just good to see this here. What do you guys think? Are you into Matter over Thread light switches? Let's see, anything here? So yeah, I guess that's just talking about automations. I had to look twice and see if that's just talking about some kind of sensor built in, but I don't think it does. I think it's just a basic dimmer switch. Yeah, so you can automate it with their motion sensors and stuff like that. So nice looking switch. What do you guys think? Eve light switches are great. Keenan says, looking forward to getting my hands on the dimmer. Okay, nice. Yeah, I've only got one Eve light switch in my whole setup right now, but I've had like 0 issues with it. So yeah, I'm happy with that and excited to try out that dimmer. I'm gonna have to find somewhere to put one of these. Let's see. Next up, another, yeah, I know, I was just thinking that too. John, can't believe it's March in a couple of days. That is wild. I think the time changes, in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So, whew, man, I'm ready for it though. Bring on the summertime. I'm a summertime fan. I don't like the winter. So, Hunter celebrating 20 months of membership. Thank you so much, Hunter, for being, let's get the applause, for being a channel member for 20 months, man. I really do appreciate that support. Says, so I'm rebuilding my smart home with the recent new house. What's your thought on Homey versus Home Assistant? Man, I need to make this YouTube video. I'm telling you what, I really need to make this video because I've been asked this question a number of times in the live streams here, and that's okay. I'll kind of just give you the quick version. I also just did a podcast. I'll mention this. I just did a podcast, the Technical Difficulties podcast. I was a guest on their podcast, and that just came out like 2 days ago, I think it was. So if you look for that on YouTube or anywhere you listen to podcasts, I should have provided a link in the description, but I didn't do that. But I also kind of talked about Home Assistant and Homey and everything in there. But when it comes down to those two, personally, I enjoy using Homey Pro better. Just like on a daily basis, creating automations, the interface, I just enjoy that better because it's really user friendly. I love the design, the way they have the automation, their automation platform is really great. That said, sometimes there are certain products that may not be supported or whatever. I run into that issue more with Homey. You don't really run into that issue with Home Assistant. So that's something to be aware of. Home Assistant, on the other hand, it just depends on what your preference is. Home Assistant is incredible. You can do so many things with Home Assistant, but it's just a very different kind of experience. So, the user interface and everything, to me, is better on Homey Pro. But Home Assistant is just really powerful. You can do a whole lot with it. It takes a whole lot of time, and it becomes a time suck, in my opinion. So it kind of comes down to what you think. But if you're starting new and you don't already have a lot of smart home devices that you want to integrate into one of these systems, then, something like Homey may be fine, because then you can just get products and stuff that will be supported in Homey. I'm actually using both of them right now, so I'm kind of all over the place with my smart home. I need to clean it up a little bit. Keenan, oh cool, says downloaded the podcast and we'll give it a listen on my drive home. Very cool. Yeah, great for a drive home. It was a nice little conversation. We talked about a lot of good stuff there. Let's see. All right, moving on. The next product that I wanted to show you that was announced. Oh, I thought I had it here. Let me see. Well, I thought I had it up. Let me look for it real quick. It's another smart lock. Here it is. Is that it? Nope. Sorry, bear with me. I'll find it real quick. Eventually. I wonder if they took the website down. Because I know I was looking at it earlier. Well, I can't find the website now. Huh. Bear with me. I wanted to show you this one, but well, I can't find the link anymore. So I don't know if they took the website down. Maybe it was published early or something, or I'm just having a slow moment. Sometimes that happens too. George, what's up, George? Good to see you here, man. Hope you're having a good week. George says, I enjoyed the appearances on both the Technical Difficulties podcast and Eric Wielander's live stream. Good stuff. Thank you, George. I appreciate you watching that. Yeah, and guys, go check out George if you haven't seen his smart home, great smart home tours on his YouTube channel. And George was also on the Technical Difficulties podcast, right? Maybe a month ago or something. And so was Eric. Wait, was Eric on the Technical Difficulties podcast too? There's been a few. I think Eric was on there also. Yeah, so that's been cool. Doing that. Really enjoyed, kind of those little collaborations and stuff. And we got the DIY smart home guy here in the house. The world needs more new smart locks. Yeah, so I guess the podcast is actually posted on your YouTube channel, right? DIY smart home guy. So I guess you guys can go there if you want to watch it on YouTube. If you want to watch it or listen to it in your podcast player, it would be Technical Difficulties podcast, I think, in your podcast player. I think I got that right. I should have just put a link in the description and avoided all the confusion. Oh yeah, we had Eric Wielander on the show. Very cool. All right. Please, I see like repeated questions. Like, re- ask your question once. Once I get to answering questions, I will come back to all the questions. I'm saving them, so please don't like just spam the chat with the same question. I'll come back to them and answer as many as I can. I promise. Just want to talk about a few of these things here first, and we'll get right to it. Yeah, Trent, appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, George had a great podcast on there also, talking more about like the security side of things. George is like the resident security expert when it comes to cameras and all that good stuff. So definitely a good listen there too. I think I texted George after that, was like, man, I enjoyed that. That was fun. Next up, let's talk real quick about Amazon. Are you guys tracking what is going on with the Amazon stuff? So this was announced today, and it's a new, I feel like I gotta say it. It's the new Alexa. Did I just trigger your devices? I'm sorry, but not really. I'm just kidding. So this is it right here. Let's watch this little quick video. I don't know if you guys can hear this. Tell me if you guys can hear this. Jeff, that's right. I know Jeff got some. You guys can't hear it? Okay, let's see. I don't think there's a way to get the sound. Appreciate the feedback. I don't think there's a way to get the sound from the screen share, but this is basically showing very conversational interactions with Amazon's voice assistant here, mostly on smart home devices. You can at least see the captions there. This is really cool right here, where they show I think it said, did I walk the dog today? And then it pulls up all the camera clips of the dog. Just pretty impressive stuff. Chat from anywhere between topics. This works on like all the devices, your phone or whatever, obviously all the smart home devices. So you can talk naturally. And this was a pretty cool demo right here. It's kind of showing her getting instructions for this recipe, and then she kind of interrupts it while it's talking, and it switches up. Just pretty impressive, man. Pretty impressive. Have you guys watched this, or have you seen this yet? So it works with all these systems or all these different services. Obviously, all the Amazon stuff it'll work well with. I'm not gonna lie, I watched some of these videos. If you haven't checked out these videos, go check this out. You could just look up Alexa Plus, and it's a new subscription. It actually comes free with your Prime subscription, which is really nice to see. Now, I'm probably not gonna use this because I don't use Amazon devices in my house personally, but if I did, I would be pretty excited about this. Free with Prime, so that's nice. I thought, they would do like an added subscription or something, but if you already have a Prime membership, then you'll get this pretty soon, I think. So, like I said, I was pretty excited when I watched that, just to see the capabilities and where we're going. And all I got to say is, Apple, where are you at? It is your time. Don't fall behind this time. Really, really makes me hopeful that Apple does this right with these new rumored smart home hub devices that we're hearing about. Supposed to come out this year. Hopefully in this first half of 2025, we'll see, the wall tablet built in. We saw the recipes, I guess the addition of recipes into the Apple News app with the iOS 18.4 update that just came out, the beta. And that to me seems like, and other people are saying this too, seems like it's kind of intended and tailored for, it would be perfect for like a smart home hub in the kitchen or something like that. So yeah, I feel you, Jeff. Apple Intelligence hasn't shown promising so far. I know, but that's like, come on, Apple, get this right. If the Amazon devices work as well as they're showing in these demos, then Apple's going to have to bring it. And I really hope they get it right. What do you guys think? Friend has Lady A feels like a step backward, turning on the lights with lag and loss of connection. Yeah, Prime has gotten more and more expensive. And yeah, and Lawrence makes a good point. It could be a lot of things with that lag, but a lot of Amazon devices, so like devices that connect directly to Amazon, those are all cloud-based unless you're using like Matter. So, stuff that goes to the cloud can definitely be slower. Steven says, Apple will get it right in 5 years. I hope not. I'm really hoping that Apple getting this right in 5 years was like 5 years ago, and now we're like here. They haven't released any smart home display devices. They're putting a lot of resources and stuff into the smart home, so it seems, for this year. So I'm hoping that 5 years later is now here, and we're gonna see it. We'll see. I don't know. I could just be wishful thinking. That's very possible, but we'll see. And they also, try to keep a lot of stuff local. They also have invested quite a bit into Matter, and Matter is really taken off. And we're hearing that Matter is going to really improve, I think, this year. So they say, or they're really working on stability and stuff this year. So I don't know. I hope this is the year. Joe says, hoping Apple stands out by trying to make smart home hardware with our ecosystem, both software and hardware, revamped Siri that can tell my phone watch is by the new command center. Yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of rumors out there that that's the way they're going. We'll see. Keep dreaming. I will keep dreaming. You got to stay positive, man. I am staying positive. Yeah, it's definitely, that's exactly was my thought when I saw this stuff from Amazon today. I was like, man, the race is on. It's really on now in the smart home too. Which is really exciting. I think a little bit scary, but pretty exciting. Either way, I'm glad it's competition. Absolutely, competition is definitely a good thing for sure. All right, so that's all the big things that I wanted to cover today. So we'll go ahead and jump into questions. We got like a good half hour left, so I'll answer as many questions and we'll just kind of chat for a little while for the rest of the stream, if that's okay with you guys. Adventure Smurf says, use Amazon for years. They work just like all tech products before they can get it working dependably. The change to a total different product. They need to get stuff working first. Yeah, and that's where I'm hoping that like Apple really does it right. They do really like to take their time. They're not worried about being first. And when they release stuff, it's usually really good. And so that's what I'm hoping, that this year they're like, all right, it's time. Smart home, it's time. We've been waiting, and this is the year. I hope they get it right and they do it really well. That's what they do with most of their stuff, most of their products. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's a good point. this Amazon announcement may light a fire under Apple with their Siri. I hope so. Really looking forward to seeing how well that Apple Intelligence is baked in. All right, let me get to some questions here. I will say if you have a question, I've already flagged a bunch of them, so I'm going to go back to those, and I appreciate your patience waiting. If you do have a question you want to ask, please preface your comment with the word question. That will kind of stick out to me like Ray just did there, and I'll save it, and I'll come back to answering as many as I can in this next like half hour or so. All right. Kevin, the Tech Ninja. What's up, Kevin, the Tech Ninja? I flagged that comment and I didn't even realize that was you. Another great YouTube channel there. Thanks, man, for joining the stream. If you're still around, appreciate the patience. Kevin says, what's up, Shane? I have some Arlo cameras that I've been using for a while, but with all the new AI stuff and HomeKit upgraded, I feel like I'm behind. Anything catch your eye currently or coming up? So, in terms of HomeKit, we're kind of in this like, I don't know, we're kind of in this weird place. I feel like, so Arlo, my understanding, I've actually never used Arlo. My understanding is they make really good cameras, but my issue with Arlo has always been their subscription model. And I don't really like having to pay additional subscriptions for stuff. I was kind of like just fussing about that in the last video about the Aqara G5 camera video that I just released. So Arlo relies really heavily on that. So I'm kind of just waiting right now. When it comes to cameras, my preference at the moment is to use hardwired cameras to an NVR system. And the type of camera doesn't matter that much. I use Reolink cameras. A lot of people use Unify cameras. I kind of want to try Unify cameras. Those are probably like the gold standard, I guess you could say. A lot of people really like the Unify cameras. That's if you can hardwire them, to an NVR system. And just having hardwired cameras is nice. Stores and records locally. You don't have to worry about subscriptions and stuff like that. And you can bring those over into HomeKit through a few different methods. Something like Homebridge you can use. I'm actually using Scripted to bring my NVR cameras into HomeKit, and that's maybe a topic for a whole nother day, but Scripted is basically something you can run on just like a separate computer, or I'm actually running mine on my NAS system and my Synology NAS, and it just allows you to bring those cameras into HomeKit that don't natively support it. So that's like my preference right now for cameras, just because of the stability, really. And that's not really including like the whole AI talk and stuff. Now, in terms of AI, the new Aqara G5 camera has some really nice AI features. I know, I believe the Unify cameras have some really good AI features too. I have not used those yet personally, so if anybody has any experience with that, drop a comment in the chat there. George may have some opinions there. Yeah, so George says Arlo was so hot and heavy for their first couple of years, and then bam, they became antiques. It's a real shame. They were one of the first to be HomeKit friendly on the camera front. Yeah, and that was before HomeKit Secure Video, right? See, that's another thing, is that the Arlo cameras don't support HomeKit Secure Video, which is one of the things that, I don't know. Like, at least give me HomeKit Secure Video so I can record my camera footage and stuff in iCloud without a subscription. Like, at least Aqara gave us that on this new Aqara G5 camera, right? Let's see. All right, let me try to say. So I hope that kind of answered your question, Kevin. If you're still here in the chat, let's see. Try to save some of these other questions here. See, we got a few of them. Which has better video quality day and night, Reolink or Unify PoE? I haven't used Unify PoE, so I haven't compared them side by side. I'm not sure if maybe George, you've compared. I don't know if George, you've used Unify cameras or not. All right, I see some other questions. Let me save these. Ooh, we got a lot of questions to get to. Good question. Europlane77 says, Shane, doesn't that cost money in scripted? So let me just pull up the website here for scripted. We could talk about this for just a second. I haven't looked at this website in like a really long time. So this is the video. This is the website for scripted. So let's see. What is scripted? It's an open source video integration platform using various plugins. So think of it kind of like Homebridge, if you're familiar with Homebridge, but it's really more aimed at cameras. So it supports a wide range of cameras that you can then send to other platforms like HomeKit, Google Home, Home Assistant, so on and so forth. And let's see. I was gonna see. So I think it's the scripted NVR that cost money. But the short answer to your question is no. You don't have to pay to use scripted. It's free to download and use on your system and everything. They do have a paid option, which you can use like their, I guess, interface and everything for recording cameras. So I guess that's called the scripted NVR. I guess that's what they call it. So you can choose to use that, or you don't have to use that at all. So I don't pay for scripted, and I've been using it for a long time. Oh, there we go. Wisp says, Reolink CX cameras have really good low light color vision. I have several CX410 set up, and they're great with a little bit of ambient light and at night, and also pretty good in daytime. Yeah, I've been happy with my Reolink cameras. I think I've always said here George says, Reolink all the way. Horrible night vision is one of the main reasons I'm not a fan of Unify. Interesting. I did not know that. Like I said, I have not used Unify cameras yet. That's kind of a bummer there. But yeah, Reolink I've been happy with. I've always said that Reolink is really like a great bang for your buck when it comes to cameras, like PoE cameras and stuff. You get really good quality cameras, good quality video footage and stuff at a very reasonable price is kind of how I usually look at that. So, all right, moving on. Thanks, Kevin, for that question. The Tyler Pat says, is the new Aqara outdoor camera worth it? Is there another HomeKit compatible camera that you would recommend around a similar price point? If you haven't watched my video on that, definitely check that out. I think, watch that video all the way through. I think, the question, is it worth it, to me is very subjective. It's a great solution for some people. It's not a good solution for other people. So I think you really need to determine what your needs are and what's best for your setup. So that goes really with a lot of things. But I think the Wi-Fi version is a really good option for those who need a Wi-Fi camera, who can't run PoE. There's not a lot of really good native HomeKit secure video cameras for outdoors. Like, there's not many at all. That's probably the best one. And when it comes to PoE, that's kind of a toss-up. There's some things like I mentioned in the video, like it doesn't support 24/7 recording unless you kind of do this like workaround using what's it called? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here. RTSP, unless you're using that and kind of do a workaround there, and have additional hardware and software like a NAS that supports video recording through RTSP. You can't do 24/7 recording. So for hardwiring it, I feel like if you're going to go through the trouble of hardwiring a camera or putting running Ethernet through your house, I would probably just want to use an NVR that I could record everything there locally. But if you need a Wi-Fi based camera, it works great. Like, it's so snappy. I was kind of looking at both of the feeds. I've tested out the PoE version and the Wi-Fi version, And the Wi-Fi version, like the feed, especially when I'm at home on my Wi-Fi, the camera feed pops up like almost instantly, almost just as fast as the PoE version. So it's really fast. It's worked really good in my experience. I've got one installed and I plan on keeping it up for a while. So, that's kind of my take on that. But I think it really kind of depends on your setup and everything. It was a bummer that that they're kind of trying to get you to buy into their subscription service too, which is one of the things I didn't really like about it. Like some of the features are kind of behind the paywall, which, like I said, I'm just not a fan of companies that do that, requiring you I love Akara stuff. I mean, I use a ton of Akara stuff. You guys probably know that. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of the subscription model, and that's kind of new for them. But it does support HomeKit Secure Video, and if you're just using it with HomeKit Secure Video, then I think you're good to go. So it's a very good solution for HomeKit users. Okay. I'm trying to flag your questions while I'm answering them. So I'll answer this while we're on the topic. Scott asks, can Akara G5 control Zigbee devices inside the home if mounted outside? Well, I mean, that's just going to depend on where you're mounting it. I mean, Zigbee range is typically pretty good, but it's just going to depend on the distance, like how far outside, how far inside, how many walls there are. That's just, that's going to depend largely on your setup. But you can test. It should show you the Zigbee range and signal for like each of your Zigbee devices in the Akara app if you're trying to pair something to, one of the hubs like the G5. So I hope that kind of answered that. The G5 Pro without battery is nearly completely useless. I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I think there's pros and cons. Obviously battery is super convenient to be able to just put a camera anywhere. But there's some downsides to that too, I mean, having to charge them and stuff like that is a pain in the butt if it doesn't have solar. But if it does have solar, there can be some issues too. Speed can be an issue, I think, using battery. So I'm not too mad that you have to plug it in, but I understand. A lot of people like those battery-powered ones. I've been thinking of dipping my toe into Unify cameras and try a G5 Pro doorbell and get rid of Nest and Starlink Hub. So many projects, not enough time. I feel you on that, Eric. What's up, man? I hope you're doing well today. Eric, also known as Modern Day Tech, here in the chat. Thanks for stopping in, Eric. Yeah, I've really been thinking about that too. I've been about this close to running an Ethernet cable to my doorbell. I don't have one now, and I would love to be able to use like a PoE doorbell camera. This close to doing it. And the only reason I haven't is because I've just had all these other projects come up that are kind of more important. So I'm thinking about it too. I just haven't done that. If you do it, are you going to do PoE or are you going to do Wi-Fi for yours, Eric? I have not tested any PoE blinds. I have not. The location and everything. If I had, we had a back porch built a little over a year ago. If I were to redo that project now, maybe I would run Ethernet to all those blinds because we put smart blinds or shades all the way around it. That would have been cool, but unless you're building new, it's probably really inconvenient to run PoE, I think, to blinds for shades. Okay, let me get to some of these questions, man. I'm like way behind on questions. Quick Wing says, using Mac Mini for scripted video, latest Sequoia update broke my feed through HomeKit. Have you heard about this? Having trouble finding a fix. I have not heard about this. Sorry, Curtis, and I have not experienced that or had any issues, but of course I'm not using a Mac Mini for mine, so I'm not so sure about that. Yoon Bannable says, what outdoor camera do you recommend? Akara, or should I stick with scripted? I think this here depends also. If you're running, if you're using scripted with cameras like that are, if you've got an NVR that's recording 24/7 locally, and you've got outdoor cameras that are PoE connected to that NVR, and you're using scripted, I don't think there's probably much better of a solution than that. Like I said, there are some of those limitations with the Akara G5. So if you're using scripted with your PoE NVR cameras, I'd probably stick with that. But if you don't have PoE cameras and maybe just have other Wi-Fi cameras, then I think the Akara G5 is about as good of an outdoor camera as you're going to get with HomeKit Secure Video, especially already baked in. Larry says, are you tempted to switch out all of your current Reolink cameras and switch them out with the new G5? Not really. I thought that I would be tempted. What will probably tempt me more is if and when Akara rolls out support for OnVIF. So for those that don't know, OnVIF is basically, I don't know how to explain it necessarily, but it's what you would use to be able, it's so your NVR systems can support like third-party cameras. So right now you can't record your Akara G5 camera. You can't, again, no 24/7 recording. So you can't connect it to like a Unify, Unify Protect. You can't connect it to your Akara NVR and stuff like that. So if they got to where, or if they rolled out an update that supported OnVIF and I could connect those maybe to my NVR system and record 24/7 in my NVR system, then I would absolutely consider replacing maybe a couple of them. But I probably wouldn't want to replace all of them. It'd be expensive for one. But see, that's one of the reasons why I wish they supported that. And right now they don't. So if they did, then I could replace a couple of them and then still use some of my other Reolink cameras, and because I'm using the Reolink NVR and just record everything to that, Jump back in the chat. RTSP works great though. Yeah, but you can't use RTSP for an NVR system. So that's kind of the holdup, You have to have something that can take an RTSP stream and record it. So I know like the Synology surveillance station, which runs on a Synology NAS, I know that can do it. But a lot of the NVR systems, can't take that RTSP stream, unfortunately. Jeff, you're using probably a Synology surveillance station on your NAS, right? See, the problem is, I'm curious if that's true, so let me know in the chat. But see, if the thing is, if you don't have a Synology NAS with Synology disk station, or surveillance station, then you might not be able to do that. There's a lot of Synologies and just other NASs out there that don't have the software that can do that, And I think, doesn't the surveillance station, isn't that a subscription model? Oh, Buffalo NAS. Okay, I was wrong. Well, that's okay. I think the surveillance station is subscription, requires a subscription. So I'm not sure about the one you're using. Or maybe you can use surveillance station on other NAS systems. I'm not sure. But I think they need to support NVR systems with OnVIF, but we'll see. Maybe I think there's been rumors that they're going to in the future. All right, answered that. Stephen asked, do you see the home hub as a main hub for your house, or will it be in every room? So I guess you're talking about that's probably when we're talking about the Apple home hubs. I'm kind of crazy, so if Apple releases the display smart home hub device, I'm probably going to put those in not every room, but pretty close. I'll put one in here, I'm sure I'll have one like in the kitchen or maybe in the hallway or something, depending on how it looks. And I'll probably want one in the bedroom, maybe in the bedroom. I mean, I've got HomePod minis at least, or big HomePods in every room just about in my house. So I'll probably, yeah, I'll probably put these almost everywhere. But I don't know. We'll see on price and stuff like that. I don't know. I might not. It might take me a while to do that. Ray asks, what is the best Apple home compatible smart indoor or outdoor Wi-Fi hygrometer? I can never say that word. Or thermometer. Words are hard today. That does not require a hub. So I would probably go with the Eve Weather. That's the one that I like. We were talking about Eve earlier. So this is the Eve Weather. I mentioned earlier my back porch. I was looking at the sensor back there. It said 83 degrees today. This is the one that I have back there. And I made a cool little 3D printed mount for it and everything. So anyways, this works outdoors or indoors. It supports Matter over Thread. So you can add it to pretty much any smart home ecosystem, and you don't need an additional hub as long as you have a HomePod or an Apple TV or something like that. So that's probably the one I'd recommend there. Official Nandoc. I can't say some of these names. I apologize. So question was, what are your thoughts on Hoobs in 2025? My thoughts on Hoobs in 2025 is, I don't know. They've been really quiet for a really long time. I get, if you're talking about like the new Hoobs Pro stuff, if you're talking about like the old Hoobs, I mean, that's, if it works, I'm sure it's still working. It's kind of like Homebridge in a lot of ways. I wonder what their website's saying about the Hoobs Pro. And they still got the website up, but this thing is, I don't think it's still on pre-order. So I don't know. They've just been so quiet about this for a long time. I know they had a lot of issues with manufacturing and had to kind of go back to the drawing board. But yeah, because of that, I would probably look at other solutions until they actually start shipping that product. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Yeah, I just, they haven't done much in a while, which worries me a little bit. Steve asked, do you think the new Akara G5 lack of black and white night vision is a deal breaker? Again, it just depends on your setup. I hate using the "it depends" answer, but it really does, man. I mean, if you saw my video, you saw how it looked, outside of my house, and it looks phenomenal. And that was like on it was a dark night. The moon was out, but all it takes is just a small amount of light, and the night vision is incredible. Now, if it's completely pitch black, then it's not going to be very good. You're going to have to use the spotlight. But it does have a spotlight. You would just have to create automations, to turn on the spotlight when there's motion and stuff like that. So you could still use it if it's pitch black. But, other than that, to get the good night vision, it just takes a little bit of light. You can actually see in my video, I did a test when I was in the garage. So that was like pitch black. You couldn't really see anything at all. So you could see that there's no, night vision, no traditional like night vision. And I opened my garage fridge just a little bit, and it just let in all kinds of light. I mean, it was just a little bit of light, but in the camera, it just looked like it exploded with light. So all it takes is just a little bit of light. So, if you're mounting it outside, I think in most cases, there's enough ambient light outside wherever you live to give you that really good night vision. But, it just kind of depends. Like I said, if, you're mounting it somewhere, it's just pitch black inside a closet or something, then there might be better options, Then it might be a deal breaker. But for me, it's not a deal breaker because it looks great outside of my house at night. Let's see. Okay, Kevin says Arlo cameras can write to USB driver through their hub for a local recording. No sub required for that, but unfortunately the smart features require a sub. Yeah, that's kind of like the car was kind of doing that sort of, and I just hate putting features behind a paywall. Trying to catch up on some of the comments. Alexander asks or says some information about Dream and Matter support. I have the L10S Pro Ultra Heat and would be nice if they add it to more of their models. Love the channel. Thank you, Alexander. I'm not sure about that specific product there. I think their latest robot vacuum supports Matter or will support Matter. I'm not really sure. I haven't done a lot of research into which products have actually rolled it out yet or which brands. I know Ecovacs has Matter support come. I think a lot of them are. Ecovacs, Dreamy, SwitchBot already has it. I know I'm missing some. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure on those specific models. And I'm not even sure if Dreamy supports it just yet, but it's definitely coming now that iOS 18.4 beta is out. I think we're going to see all these companies rolling out that Matter support now. Scott asks, will the Akara G5 send a notification with motion detection through HomeKit secure video? Also, can I live view Akara G5 with HomeKit secure video? Yeah, of course. You can get a live view of the camera in HomeKit, and you can access your recordings and everything too. And regarding the notifications, yes, you do get notifications also. So you can configure your notifications whether you want them through HomeKit or through the Apple Home app or through the Akara app, or you can get them from both if if you want. But it becomes a lot. I've experienced that in the last couple months. But yeah, you can get notifications for motion through HomeKit, and you can also view the camera, the live stream. Torin, I don't know if maybe I answered this earlier. I didn't do an official side-by-side test on camera or anything, but just in my experience in opening up the camera feeds, the Wi-Fi camera is extremely fast. It's one of the best that just in my testing so far, just been a couple months, but the feed, especially when I'm on my Wi-Fi network at home, the camera feed pops up almost instantly. So I don't know if it may be a fraction slower than the PoE version of the G5, but if it is, it's minute. It's very fast for a Wi-Fi camera in my experience. All right, let me jump back into the chat. Now the wife is going to want a new Narwhal that works in HomeKit. Yeah, I know. That's the one I'm not sure. I'll have to check with Narwhal and see what their stance is on Matter now that we're kind of closer. Keith asks, will HomeKit support robot vacuums without Matter or only those supporting Matter? Yeah, I think Matter is going to be the only way to get robot vacuums into the Apple Home app. I don't think there will be any native home. These robot vacuum manufacturers, they're not going to go out and get native HomeKit certification and everything when they can just get Matter certification. So I think the only support you're going to see for those in Apple Home is going to be with Matter. So, all right. Well, I think I got through most of those questions. If I didn't answer your question, I'm sorry. I tried to get through as many as I could. We had a lot of questions today. A lot of talk about the new Akara G5 camera and some good stuff. So I hope I answered your question. If not, I'll be back next week right here. You can also drop a comment on a video, and I I try to get to those as well. If you're a channel member, definitely hit me up on Discord or drop a comment there in the chat for everybody. I see we do have a lot of channel members here, so thank you guys all for the support. If you're not a channel member and you are interested in becoming one, you can get access to my member Discord server. And we do actually next week we'll have our monthly member video chat, which is always a lot of fun. So we do that once a month also. And yeah, I always get in the Discord every day and I try to prioritize questions and all that kind of stuff over there for sure. So it's a lot of fun there. Also, early access to new videos. Do have a new video coming out this week, so stay on the lookout for that. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for joining me live here today, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.